Do you ever double dip like that? Have your coffee and your water?
Yeah. All right, we are live. Episode 3,
We live.
Legacy Lounge.
We live.
Today we are talking about television and movies and television. You know, how does that all relate to legacy? Let's get into it. So, I know before when we were talking, one of the things I mentioned about television and movies, very popular genre of movies, Disney movies. You know, and we were talking about how legacy, especially life insurance, how it relates to a lot of Disney movies. One in particular, a childhood favorite of mine was The Lion King. You know, just thinking, you know, Simba's dad died, even though they're lions and they're animals, we're going to just get that out of the way right now.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it was really, The Lion King is based on, what was that play? Hamlet? Based on Hamlet. A lot of stuff based on Hamlet.
Really?
Yeah. But anyway, so what happens, you know, Mufasa dies. Terrible. But if Simba had some life insurance, how would his life be? Would he have had to be in the jungle eating bugs with Timon and Pumbaa and all of that?
So crazy.
Or would he have had like a track record, something to live for, something to go off of, even though it doesn't answer and fix the emotional heartache of losing his dad, you know?
Rafiki was his life insurance policy. That's what Rafiki was there for. That was the insurance on life and him, you know, growing and building his father's legacy, not maybe from a financial or monetary standpoint, because they lions in the jungle, but the aptitude that a parent wants their child to have. It was Rafiki. Now, how about this?
Explain that though. I'm still a little lost on that.
Well, I say that because Rafiki was there to guide him and give him life lessons and things like that. If you really look at the definition of a mentor is a very deep-suited word if you look it up. And so what would happen is essentially the mentor would raise the heir. It was taking the position of the father because he was out at war. He was doing whatever he was doing. And so Rafiki and Simba kind of had like a mentor-mentee relationship because he was always there to bust him over the head and be like, no, not like that, like this. You know better. You know what I mean? He just kind of mold him because he didn't have the father to do so anymore. So
was Rafiki kind of like the godfather or something?
Yeah. Well, he was if I recall correctly, because I haven't been on this earth a couple of decades and haven't seen Lion King and I don't know how long. He was his father's right hand at the time, right? So it's just like a captain and a co-captain. Even if the captain falls asleep, it don't mean you ain't gonna reach the destination because the co-captain is on point with it as well. So he was still able to implement the things of the father because of his relationship with them, right? My ideology. You got me thinking for animals, but if I had to, right? That's my thought process. Now here's the thing. If we want to talk about legacy, policies, and something with reference to cartoons, childhood, or Disney, tell me how a policy would have been beneficial for, what was his name? What was his name in the Jungle Book?
I forgot about that.
His name was we had Baloo.
He was raised by the bear.
Baloo.
Oh, so it comes down to if you don't got your stuff in order, your child gonna get raised by animals.
I'm over you for breakfast. That's what it comes down. Listen, or they're gonna be fed to Tarzan, or they're gonna be fed to the animals. They're gonna be fed to the wolves. They can be raised by. Listen, we're gonna go there.
Yo, and the animals don't have to be literal animals. How many people are raised in bad situations, bad environments, because, you know, something happened to the parents? Cinderella. What happened to Cinderella's family? She got, again, she raised by animals.
Yeah.
Raised by animals. The evil stepmom and the stepsisters and all of that. Now, there are, I'm going to say this so people don't get mad, there are good step parents and step brothers and step sisters out there. But life ain't always a Disney fairy tale. And even in Disney, things don't always work out correctly, because that's why we're talking about this right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't let your children get raised by the animals or something.
But I like that correlation because in the world we live in, the means to your happily ever after or best coping mechanism could be that monetary legacy that's left with the planning of having a policy in place. You know what I mean? It's a situation where in the world we live in, money is not the most important thing in the world. It's not. But it's right up there with oxygen.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Yeah.
You'd rather have it than not have it.
True. Especially in our culture and our day of what's going on in America. You know, you definitely need it. Definitely need that cash flow.
The world as a whole. If you want to get out of America, well, I guess you don't need money to get in America. That's a whole nother talk show. But yeah. Totally different. But yeah, absolutely.
Man, that's wild. Oh, another one. Princess and the Frog. Tiana.
My baby was real big by then. I'm not familiar with that story.
Yeah, I don't remember the whole story. I just know she was out here kissing frogs because her parents didn't leave her no money. You know,
Am I Tiana?
No.
Am I Tiana?
Hey, hopefully one of those frogs turns into a prince.
I ain't kissing no more frogs. I ain't never kissed a frog. Let me stop. Let me not do that.
Oh man, you might have somebody from the past show up.
They be all right.
They
know.
I hope nobody comment ribbit.
You so funny. You're so funny. It'd be all right.
Anyway, yeah. So hopefully, people out here kissing frogs. I hope one of them frogs turns into a prince. I hope there's no guy out there doing voodoo. You know, wishing everybody a happy, good, long, successful life. But seriously, you know, make sure that you're covered. Make sure that your children are covered. Make sure that everything's set up for you, so you don't have to go through all of this, because who is to say whether or not you, your child, your spouse, your family members, your friends will actually get there happily ever after?
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true.
Yeah. You know, thinking about that, when does actually the happily ever after actually get set up? Like, you know, that those chain of events that get to the end. What did you do in the beginning that was able to set those things up for the happily ever after?
Such is life. And one thing that I'm a proponent of is that maybe most people, but definitely there are people who need that head start, right? And that head start, because other people are in this game or this race of life, and they've had that head start for generations, for foundation. You know what I mean? Like it's already been imparted and put upon them, right? And I just always encourage people to look at the fact, or think about people they lost, right? And whether or not there was something substantial passed down. At the lower end, it's great that you didn't have to fry chicken and fry fish and do a car wash and do a GoFundMe, right, to take care of those final expenses. But the bills keep coming, right? Was the house able to be paid off? Was there a house that was able to be purchased? Is there now a college plan that's been paid for, right? And in other situations, because of planning, like you said, accordingly and appropriately, their happily ever after starts before they get here. Whether it's an arranged marriage, there's things put into place to say, hey, when you reach this age, right, it aids and abates them in accomplishing certain goals, whether it's higher education, starting a family, right? Because if you ain't starting no family, you ain't getting my bread. You ain't about to squander my bread. I got a friend in law school, and one of the things that she's working on, she recognizes the maybe mentality or softness of one of her children. And so there's certain clauses that she plans to impart to ensure, right, whether she here or not, that the counterpart of her child doesn't squander the money that she worked for. People are able to do that with that planning.
Wow. You know, there's old acronym or old saying that a coach used to say: proper planning prevents poor performance.
Well, we said it a little more spicier than that, but yeah, that's the sentiment.
Nah, give us the spicy version, or just a little bit, just a little hot sauce on it.
Proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Yeah, yeah.
All the P's, just extra P. Look,
Pushing P.
pushing P. That's P. That's P. What the kids say, that's P.
Yeah.
So, and you know, it's small things. It is even we're talking about imparting and putting things like that into place. You know, sometimes it's something as simple as people don't have their checking and savings. They don't have a beneficiary for that.
Explain the importance of that. Explain the importance of that.
Well, I think it's really basic. If you ain't got somebody on there, somebody else gonna get your money. It's just that.
Mhm.
Also, it's important, even if you have money there and where the money is placed, because what happens is as soon as they sign on the dotted line and say, yeah, that's mine, that was my, you know, bloodline. So I'm entitled to have that money. That's what they will want, whatever the ramifications may be. Well, the following year, your favorite uncle, Sam, is going to hit you up with a letter. What's happening? Sorry about that situation, but I heard you got some bread. I'm going to need some of that.
Yeah. Good old Uncle Sam.
I'm going to need some of that.
Mm.
So that's the other part, you know, in certain vehicles, right? Being your own bank, positioning your money in a product that allows the liquidity, allows you to have access to it, allows for you to name who the beneficiary is, and then that money to be transferred to them, lump sum, tax free. That's the most imperative thing. Everybody, listen, I think people have become masterful or have found a niche or know how to get to the money. The acquisition of the money is not a problem. It's the retention and the duplication of it. And a lot of people are not even aware that they're able to put their money in a position where it can be duplicated.
Yeah. So, you know, that goes back to making money, keeping money, and multiplying money. Those are the 3 steps that everybody needs to take. Now, you was just talking about how making money is not really the struggle anymore. It is being able to keep it and multiplying it. So that goes on like, really, how do we think about money? For example, is the goal to get money to buy stuff, get money to pay bills, or do you get money so that your money can make money?
That's what you better do.
Yeah, but you know, we hear that a lot, but it's easier said than done in most situations. So it's really comes down to how do we focus on not making money just for survival, but making money so that we can expand, you know, be fruitful, multiply, things like that.
I feel like it's simple, but it's not
Mhm.
easy, right? The simplicity is the fact that it can be done, right?
Mhm.
The simplicity is utilizing and leveraging someone like yourself and myself to make you aware of your options, show you, guide you in real time. The reason it's not easy is because it's going to require a sacrifice on a lot of occasions when
Yeah.
you're getting started.
Yeah.
And even with that, it can be more simple if you already have the sacrifice in place. You're
Mhm.
putting things away. Now it just requires a reallocation to say, hey, instead of, you know, letting your money live here, parking it here, if you park it over here, right, it's just a better position. So reallocation and positioning of things and people recognizing the timeliness of it. It's always greater later.
Mhm.
And in this case, it's not a beneficial greater later if you wait.
Yeah, that's very true. You know, I say it's it's like taking your money. It's really when you say the whole reallocation of money,
Mm-hmm.
moving it from one account to another account,
Mm-hmm.
it makes you more money. It's like taking your money to the money club where it just attracts more dollar bills instead of it sitting at home alone
What
in
kind of
your
clubs
bank
you be
account.
going to? The money club? What you say? How
Hey,
that work?
the money club, you know, the legacy lounge.
Look at you. Look at you. Sound like the boom boom room. You talk about TV and movies? You
TV
Ray?
and movies, TV and movies.
What was that, the mic, the boom boom room? That's the Legacy
Yeah.
Lounge.
Yeah, we're gonna have some Harlem Nights up in here.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh man. So, TV and movies. I know we were talking a little bit about Disney. Fun fact for people watching this, Disney got started with a life insurance policy.
Indeed, it did.
Crazy how that life insurance policy turned into a multi-million-dollar empire.
You know what's so funny to me is that people don't readily identify the correlation. Everybody wants good credit. Why? Because they recognize that they can leverage OPM, other people's money. This ain't your grandparents' life insurance policy where it pays out when you die. This is more powerful in credit in a lot of instances, because you're still leveraging other people's money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Without the obligation to necessarily have to pay it back. It can be collateralized again. Or the fact, I don't know if people know, when you have large life insurance policies that build cash value, people have used that to get into business. They've collateralized that. They've put that up to. So, yeah, there's that.
Nah, it looks like he was on a roll. I'm not going to stop you.
Listen, there's so many layers to it. And I like to make things digestible. We could get really deep into it, right? But sometimes people suffer from analysis paralysis, right? Just overanalyzing things. Or
so give them just a little something to whet their appetite, the little sample, the hors d'oeuvre. When you walk in the mall and the person with the chicken, like, here you go. Yeah, here's a little free sample.
I'm your pusher. Where I come from, you give people a free sample. You try. What did you want me to
We try to help people. Give them the sample to help them.
Well, you know what though? I'll say that we just did, letting people know that this is a very leverageable product, right? In terms of not having to go into your bank account and utilize your own collateral. You could take this piece of paper, this promissory note, and use it as the collateral to advance yourself to reach your end goal. It's just that simple. I don't want to overcomplicate it and go through all this difference, but it's just that simple.
So going back to television and movies, and again talking about pushes, I know before we went live, we was talking a little bit about Power and the whole story of James St. Patrick leaving Tariq the money in the trust. Again, it's just, how do you protect your money? How do you really leave a legacy? And then in this example from the show Power, it's how do you control your money from the grave? You already talked about leaving a beneficiary on your bank accounts. That way your surviving spouse, partner, children will have access to the money, but then even taking it a step further and completely controlling it, because in this situation, Tariq had certain requirements he had to meet before he was able to have access to the money. So yeah, there's so many examples and there's so many ways and stuff that we see all around us every day. But it's like, are we paying attention? Are we fully aware of the things that we need to do in order to set ourselves up properly?
Yeah, ourselves and the family that we create, or people that we care about. It goes both ways, and that's what I get most excited about with the financial products that we have and we're able to offer people. It's just the whole thing that it's something that you can utilize now, right? That you just allow for your money to be able to provide so many different things for you. Like if you pay your mortgage, that's what it covers. You pay your phone bill, that's what it covers. Pay your card note, that's what it covers. You pay your life insurance, you make a deposit into that account, it covers so many different things. It covers if you get sick or ill. It covers if you don't make it home, if you get hurt. It covers if you need to leverage it and collateralize it, right, to start a business or open a business, right? It's so many things that one payment covers. When you pay everything else, it only covers that.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. Is life insurance the only insurance that does that?
As far as I'm aware of, unless you'd like to enlighten me, Commissioner.
No, because when people think about life insurance, they think about it in the same category that they think about all those other insurances. Okay, like if I got car insurance, so if something happens to my car, it's going to pay me. I got this house insurance, if something happens to my house, this thing is going to pay me. But life insurance is the only insurance that, again, even if you don't die, you can still access it. I wish that from car insurance, if I didn't get into an accident, if I didn't, crash the car, if nothing happened to the car, that I can just go inside my car insurance policy and be like, I'm going to use this money to start a business.
I'll do you one better.
Use this money for whatever.
How about if I did get into an accident, instead of you requiring for me to come out of pocket with additional funds, you utilize that money I've been paying you for the last umpteen years where I didn't get into an accident. Where that money at? What'd you do with that? You know what I mean? So I agree. That's my thing. Paying that one deposit to yourself, right? And that's the thing. I think people look at it as, oh, I'm paying the insurance company. I'm paying. If you're in the right policy, you're paying yourself. You're paying yourself. You're making a deposit. And so as opposed to saying make a premium payment, with the things that I like to structure for people, right? You're making a deposit. It's got the liquidity. It's readily accessible. It covers all of those things. The duality and the multiple benefits of it far exceeds anywhere else you could put your money. JP Morgan, Chase, where they put their money? What do they buy?
Hey, $24 billion cash in insurance.
You said 24 with an M or
24 billion with a B. 24 billion. And that is Bank of America. 19 billion Wells Fargo. 12 billion Chase. With a B. With
all on life insurance. That's what the banks, the financial institutions are doing that.
Tier 1 capital. Safest capital you can have. Best capital you can have.
Life insurance?
Life insurance. It's crazy.
Talk to them.
It's crazy. And then the thing about it is, it's really not crazy when you truly take a deeper dive. This has been happening for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. You have life insurance companies that have not missed a dividend payment. That's the interest that's credited to you in over 120 years. What?
So,
what place do you know that does that?
What was that? What was that? 1904? 1920?
Look, it's longer than I've been alive.
What's the company that you can Google? I honestly can't think of it off the top of my head. That they made a public apology to say, yep, you know what? Those systems and practices were not correct. You are correct. We did indeed make the bulk of our money from insuring slaves. That when we talk about all money, that's what we're talking about.
You're talking about taking it back to roots.
Get your just due. That's all I'm gonna say. We have to sometimes change our thought processes and ideologies on what we're doing, right? That instant gratification, but it's a long haul. It's a long game.
Yeah.
To place your money in the proper position. And we see a lot of people recognizing that now. When these booms and when these things happen, people be with the I wish I shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? Whether it's cryptocurrency, right? Whether it's buy and sell, whether, it's different things like that. So the same needs to be said for you creating your own ecosystem and financial economy by where you place your money. And the first place you should place it is where it can do the most for you. Where it does multiple things as opposed to one thing.
Yeah.
You talk about assets and liabilities.
Yeah, you either are your biggest asset or you are your biggest liability. Now, again, are you paying yourself first? Because at the end of the day, you still going to need money for you. Now, sure, you may say, oh, I don't want to pay the insurance company like how you said, but you're really paying yourself. Now, is your future self going to thank you for the actions that you took today? Because the time is going to pass either way.
Paying yourself first is not putting it in your local financial institution, because they're going to take that money and do what you should have did, which is buy what? Life insurance.
Oh, man.
we're getting to a point in this day and time, we're eliminating the middleman.
Yeah.
YouTube University, TikTok
Mhm.
University, right? We don't have to now. Yeah.
So you pretty much telling people to stop giving your money away and letting other people do better with it than you do.
I think when people realize that that's what's occurring and how simple it is for them to get in position and do it for themselves, then that's when we'll see a shift. We'll see things starting to change. And the crazy thing is, this is not new. These are tax codes 7702, one, I don't know all of them, but these are tax codes, just like the 401k. You know it. That's a tax code.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tax code letting the IRS know, your favorite Uncle Sam, what to do with this bunch of money. Do we disregard it? Has it already been taxed? Does it need to be taxed? What do we need to look at in order to do so? So the 401k, is the one that we're most privy to. But as I say, if you want to hide things from people or certain demographics, it
Mm-hmm.
ain't out front. You put it in the book. They don't advertise it. Rolls Royce ain't advertised. There's just certain things where unless you seek out that knowledge, you just don't know. You're going with the what's the word I'm looking for? The status quo or the regularly scheduled program. And oftentimes that don't serve you like it's serving them.
Oftentimes, you mean like most of the time.
Yeah,
Most of
absolutely.
the time. Man, really, really just want to give the power back to the people. Know that you have more control over your destiny than you think you do. Your legacy is really going to be shaped by you, your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions,
Your actions.
the consequences of those actions.
Yeah.
Again, the time is going to pass either way. Do you want a whole bunch of money and options, or do you want a whole bunch of coulda, shoulda, woulda, and wishes? Oh man,
Retirement. You want it sooner or later?
retirement. Was there any show or movie that really hit up on retirement, life, about life and retirement?
Nothing I could think of off the top of my head. A lot of people are in an inadvertent retirement because of the fact, I would say, due to disability, right? And so that's another thing with your life insurance. You've created a passive income. Is that something that can happen where you can receive an annual payout tax free because you put your money in a life insurance policy?
Hey, yes, that is a great thing because so you know when it comes to retirement, I usually ask people when they're thinking about retirement, what does what do you want to do and what do you need to do? Like you need how much money to fund your lifestyle, but then it's like in retirement, what do you want to do with your free time? So it's the concept of having a paycheck and then having a play check.
I
You
like
know,
that.
one is going to fund your needs and the other one is going to fund your wants. So it's like, do you have those two things?
You know what I think of?
What's
A
that?
lot of people don't have those two things now. And when we think of later and we look at history, taxes don't go down. Inflation, gas, groceries, you know what I mean? Everything is going up. So if you ain't got it now, once again, like I said, it's always greater later. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't even have it now. So you can truly do something now that your future self is going to thank you for. When you listen, either you going to take advantage of compound interest, the alternative is pay compound interest.
Yeah. So what's the easiest thing? What's the easiest step to get started?
Call Fancy Daily and Commissioner Gordon.
Hey,
Um,
I guess it don't get any easier than that.
I'll tell you this: definitely act soon. I had an instance in a situation where I had a client this week who wanted $1 million policy. Um, when I put in his information, he was only able to qualify for 500,000. So I try to express to people, and people kind of have a glimpse when you look at car insurance. You don't choose your life insurance company. They choose you. This is something you have to qualify for, right?
How do you
People
qualify?
people deny getting life insurance when they're healthy, and then the life insurance company deny giving you coverage once you get scared because something happened, with your health or something like that. They're not taking that bet. You got one foot on the banana peel, the other one on the grave, and now you want to have this concerted argument about how it costs too much. So you always want to get your coverage sooner rather than later, and also consult with professionals who are able to advise you of how to legally, if you don't qualify, legally enact tactics, systems, and practices that can lower your cost of insurance and still allow you to take advantage of it. You also have to work with a professional who recognizes the adverse effect of denial, right? Applying to the wrong company, how that can have an adverse effect on things. But I'm sorry, what was your question?
Yeah, so you just reminded me of something that happened earlier this week. I was talking to, let's just say, Jake. All right.
Okay.
I was talking to Jake, and Jake was like, "Yo, I am denying people left and right." And Jake was like, "Man, I really want to help these people, but I just cannot get them approved. Tino, what are some options you have?" I'm like, "Okay, let's run the numbers. Give me a profile of the type of person you're trying to help. Oh, they're overweight. They have diabetes. They want to do this and that." I ran some options for them. Jake told me out of his own mouth, "Hey, man, that quote that you gave completely beats mine." I'm just like, "Hey, man, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even
Don't do that. Don't do that. Because anytime I look like I think I want to say something, you be on my head.
Let's just say, for some people, he's a good neighbor. For others,
not so much.
Not so much. Not so much. But I was like, I appreciate you, Jake, for sitting down with me and admitting that, and then we're figuring out a way for him and I to work together. Just because there's just so many extra benefits and things that are just outside of his wheelhouse and things that he can offer, and vice versa. But if you want a bundle,
you're so funny. Exactly. Yeah, that's something different. I won't speak to that because I don't think insurance is a one size fits all thing.
No.
You know what I mean? So I won't even, whatever people do, but I'm just a component of people's options not being taken away. So when right, you can make an informed decision for yourself. And my concern is just the lack of people knowing. Also, I have a concern. Once people start to wake up, rules change, right? So you want to be grandfathered in, because typically when the rules change, it's not advantageous for the people who wasn't getting in where they fit in the beginning. That all.
Wow. That's heavy. That covers a lot.
It does.
A lot. I hope those viewing this really pick up on what she is saying, because that affects your past, present, and future.
It's like that. It's like that. Well, I'm glad you invited me out. I hope people did get something great again at the Legacy Lounge, talking about TV and movies. And
yeah, you watched any good TV or movies lately?
I don't watch TV. Or movies, kind of lame like that.
What was the last movie you saw?
Oh, like at the movies or just
in general?
Oh, okay. I remember going to the movies. What did I see? It was a scary movie. Let me think. And I don't like scary movies. I don't know. What was the last movie I saw? I have no idea.
Hey, so speaking of scary movies,
I
this
have
just
no
came in
idea.
my head, right? Was it a slasher movie or was it like a ghost movie?
The movie I saw,
Mm-hmm.
T. To reiterate, I have no idea. I
Okay.
don't know. I wish I knew.
Okay, because this may sound ridiculous, but right. So we were talking about legacy and life insurance and everything.
Mm,
Do you think? Do you think like ghosts would still be haunting people if they had their stuff set up in order?
you is so, sir.
Just something to think about. You know.
Really, T.
Hey,
So they mad because they ain't do stuff right, so they gonna make everybody miserable.
you know your soul ain't at peace.
Let me see. I'm looking up movies of 2024 to see if I can find the movie that I saw. Why don't I know the movie I saw? Maybe it wasn't scary. I think it was. Because I don't like scary movies. I went anyway. And so maybe as a coping mechanism, I didn't retain what it was. Yeah.
Did you hide behind the popcorn bucket?
No, I probably just had my face in it eating all the popcorn and probably just eating. Um, I went into labor early because I went to see a scary movie. Well, what was scary to me at the time with my son's father was called Ghost Ship. Ghost Ship was not scary. But when it came on, you remember that? You don't remember that movie, do you?
I remember the movie. I just
Yeah.
didn't. I never watched it.
They were on a boat or something, and like maybe a fish line came through and just like beheaded everybody. The movie wasn't on 10 minutes. I was like, oh, that's it. All right. So we out. Like I couldn't even take it. Like, I don't know. I'm not the person that you can scare and I'm like, oh my God, that was so funny. I'm a swing on you. I'm not good with things like that. Listen, they say scary people react first. I'm scary. Don't scare me. Don't scare me. I don't do well with stuff like that. I'm just being transparent. What movie did I see? I'm just being transparent. I'm not good at stuff like that. And so I always give that disclaimer so people are in the know and they're aware, right? Don't scare me. Don't jump out. I'm gonna square up. I'm gonna knuckle up because I'm scary. So I'm just doing it to protect myself. It's not a bad thing. Self-preservation is the right Maslow's law.
But what she's saying is that she is somebody who will fight for herself and fight for you. For those
That's what I do.
who are watching,
people who know me know that's real. Now
yeah.
that is absolutely true, in many facets, in most facets actually.
Hey, look. Hey, not everybody gonna fight for you.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
Yeah. Any other movies, TV shows, maybe something you've seen on social media, something that caught your attention?
No, but you know what I like? Oh no, I'm not gonna think of the name of it. What's the hedge fund company? Because I love Wolf of Wall Street, but what was the hedge fund? Bobby Axelrod. Do you know that?
Oh, you're talking about Billions.
Love Billions. But I'm not caught up.
I've only seen like the first 2 or 3 episodes.
Oh, treat yourself. Don't treat yourself. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's like that. Politics, hedge funds,
big money. Billions with a B.
Billions
with a B.
Just the ideology, the strategies, the thought processes with things. And like I said, I'm behind. But
what is something that you learned from that show?
Let me see what's something I learned. A lot of the times, and I don't know how to play chess, but I can recognize that people are being very strategic, right? Just being ahead of the ball. There's a lot of psychology to know how people are going to react in certain instances and things like that. I enjoy the psychological part of it. And then, of course, there's the drama and the financial aspect. Nothing I would say that I could really make practical application of in my industry. They're very cutthroat. I don't rock like that, right? I'm the person who say, get in anybody church. Yeah, I'm a preacher. Yeah, I'm a pastor, right? But get in somebody church. That's me. So it's not a lot that I can use on my end or would choose to use, but I like the nature of it.
Yeah.
Financial products are just sexy to me. I like what they're able to do. I like the way they're able to, with minimum effort or just with the right um, strategy or corporation of things, it just makes a world of difference. I don't believe in hard work. I believe in working smarter.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who work very hard, and I guess it depends on what you consider hard work. But like manual labor, and it works for people. It's just not my forte. So I just believe in, putting your money to work for you. You're gonna work for
Yeah.
money forever. Why wouldn't you let your money work for you?
Yeah, it goes back to some of the things that we were talking about earlier today when we were talking about just making money, keeping money, and multiplying it, using these financial vehicles to multiply your money. But then also how you said you love the psychology of it. There's actually a great book called The Psychology of Money. I would
Mm-hmm.
recommend that to everybody. Just like, what are your thoughts? What are your views? How do you think and process money? Again, is it money just made so that you can spend it? Is money just made so that you can just pay your bills or buy stuff? Or is your money, do you think of your money as little soldiers that their job is to go out and get money? Oh, we are talking about TV and movies, and I forgot one of the best television shows, reality shows, especially when it comes to people talking about money, talking about how they look at money,
Mm-hmm.
is Shark Tank.
Mm-hmm.
Can't look, the whole point behind Shark Tank is, again, investors are trying to figure out where to put their money so that it's going to multiply so they can get a return.
I like what you touched on in terms of talking about the psychology of money. There's a notion that I've heard, and I think other people have probably heard, where they say the root of money is evil, right? And they're
Oh,
quoting a great
the
book. But the
the
book doesn't say that. The book actually says
they say
love.
money is the root of all evil.
Yeah, and that's not the
Right.
case. The
Mm-hmm.
love of money
Mm-hmm.
is the root of all evil, and that's in um placement of things. Like if you want to honor somebody, you think about honoring somebody, or you think about being honored. You don't do that in poverty. You don't do that in lack. You don't do that in a survivor mindship. So to truly honor and glorify and be a reflection of something that you love, you're devout to, and that you think is so great, in the world we live in, money is a great tool to help that happen, right?
Yeah, yeah, I love how you said that, because it is true. The love of money is the root of all evil. The love of it.
They
A good
eliminate that word.
songwriter once said, "Love will make you do right.
Love will
Love will
make you
make
do
you do."
wrong. Al Green said it. Indeed.
Oh man, the prophet Al Green said, "Love will make you do right. Love will make you do wrong." So again, people, just for the love of money, people will do wrong. People
That's
will
another
do
song
wrong.
for the love of money. Who
Mm,
is that? That's not the OJs. Who is that? So, and here's the thing, like you said, in the love of it. If you're putting it at the forefront and it causes you to be derogatory, but I like an ideology that I heard, and I think money is an amplifier. If you're not a good human without it, not necessarily going to be a good human with it, right? It
mhm,
amplifies and enhances who you are. But people are usually in a better frame of mind. They're kinder, they're nicer, right? When they have
mhm,
it, right? Not when they're hungry, ready to snatch the dishes out your kitchen, right? Not when they got to tell their kids no. You know what I mean? Things like that. So when they have it, people become a cheerful giver, right?
yeah,
It feels good.
yeah. And to have it, that means you got to know how to keep it and not spend it. So yeah.
I don't know. We want to spend it. That's what we want it for. Listen, I had a trip, and I went on a trip, and I traveled a long time on a plane to get to this trip. And I got to the destination, very lackluster. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't having a good time. I turned around and got right back on the plane in less than 24 hours. In less than 24 hours. And people who care about me were concerned about that. And oh, you spent all that money. You should have just stayed, and you're not gonna get the money back for the other ticket. And listen, money is a tool.
Hmm.
That's why I got the money. Why would I be uncomfortable and stay somewhere where I don't want to be, that doesn't
Hmm.
feel good? No, I'm going to use my tool and get out of Dodge. I'm going to move.
Yeah.
That's what money allows you to do.
So again, that goes back to the psychology, like how we were talking about, and just what your values are. You prioritize yourself over the money. You love yourself more than you love the
Way more.
money.
Way more.
I was sitting with a preacher, pastor yesterday, and one of the things that he said to me that just blew my mind. It's something that I already knew, but it wasn't as clear as he said it. He was saying, again, if you look at where people put their money, you show me what you buy, you show me where you spend, I can tell you what you value, and I can tell you what you worship. So again, it's like, oh, is your money in things? Is it in shoes? Do you put the value on?
Some people wear all their money. You go to the house.
Yeah. This is the stuff that you value and you take pride in. This is the stuff that you love. Are you putting it into things, or are you putting it into yourself? You're saying, hey, I prioritize myself. I pay myself first. This stuff is self-preservation.
That's it. Self-preservation. I've seen here in Michigan, when I go into a lot of affluent neighborhoods, they don't have the freshest whips. They ain't got the newest cars. They don't. You might see a work vehicle, right? Because they're under, they have a family business or what have you. And you see cars that get a lot of mileage. You see cars that are reliable. You see various different cars, and there may be one nice car. But like my father told me, a car is nothing but a time machine. The bells and whistles are optional, as long as it gets you from point A to point B kind of thing. But then I go in other neighborhoods, right, where the houses are very close together, houses that are not brick and, were maybe meant for temporary housing once upon a time. They got the freshest whips. They got all the new whips. They parked on they lawn and not on the street because they don't trust it in that environment, but they got it. People value things differently, right? So, like you said, I could see exactly what he's saying, because some people only buy things that depreciate in value, right? They only buy things that eventually can end up being a liability, or other people buy things that are assets. Other people place their money in things where there's equity, like a life insurance policy where you can reach out and touch it if you need to.
Yeah. You remind me of another singer-songwriter that said, because they made us hate ourselves and love
they will. Gotta have it. And that's the psychology of things that you're talking about. He was well aware of it, though. He realized it. You know what I'm saying? Just to be like, you ain't up on this. We listen. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. It is. I battle with it.
We're all self-conscious. I'm just the first to admit it.
That's it. He was self-aware. You know what I mean? He was self-aware. So you can't be real with nobody else until you're real with yourself. Now he makes clothes that look like they're fit for hobos and people who are in concentration camps, right? And stuff now.
But people buy them. People
buy it. And what I learned, I didn't know. I wish I could shout out my little cousin. He has a clothing store in Royal Oak. I'm a bad big cousin right now. Sorry, Trey. But it's the markup.
Doing amazing things.
It's the markup. So it's not that Ye does that. It's the resellers that inflate the price. Same holds true when you put your money in the bank and you got to borrow for them instead of getting the money out your insurance policy for your down payment. Cut out the middleman. It's the inflation of everything. Listen, it's nothing new under the sun, right? So the same systems and practices that are used in this industry is used in other industries. You just have to have an eye to recognize it and position yourself accordingly. That's all.
Yeah. And if you can't see it out there in the real world and every day, you can tune in to the Legacy Lounge. There's 4 eyeballs right here that you're looking at that are trained to spot it.
That's right. That's
so
covered like a blanket.
If Sway ain't got the answers,
you ain't got the answers, Sway.
We got them right here. We got them right here.
You ain't got the answers. We got the answers though. And me, I'm a person. I'll tell you if I don't have the answer, but I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get it.
Oh yeah, we're well connected. Well connected. You know,
Yeah,
you
that's a
can
whole nother situation.
just call Fancy up. Hey, I need this done. You called me up. Hey, Tino, I need this done. You know what I say? I say I'm on it. Take
Yeah,
my name,
listen,
Tino. You flip it backwards. What you get? On it.
own it. You own it. And I love it too. I love the position of servitude. I love to be able to be a resource to people and help them. And what I find is that what happens is there's an attraction where I'm attracting other people who are the same way. So I love to serve people. I love to go to work for people. It's a duality in terms of reward, not even just from the monetary side of things, right? But it's just like if you plant a seed in horticulture, you have a plant, just to look back and see, right, that you were able to aid and abet by providing the right elements for it to grow that way.
Man, that's wonderful.
Good stuff. I like it.
Wonderful. Because then your kids don't have to get raised by animals.
There you go. We're gonna go back to that. Yeah.
Hey, look, that was profound.
Mm.
Profound.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like again, no, it's right in front of you. You don't even think about it. But you're like, yo, it's a jungle out here.
It is. Listen. And so you're able to position your child to keep them away from the snakes. The snakes are out here. The snakes are out here. And it's a situation where just like there's certain neighborhoods and buildings, apartment buildings in New York, you can't move in there if you ain't got the bloodline to collect, because they don't want you around. They don't want your ideologies. They don't want your stinking thinking. They don't want any of that to permeate their children. They don't want that. You know what I mean? They don't want that derogatory influence, right? Mm-hmm. They only want like-minded people around them. You know what I mean? And ultimately times, people have got caught up in situations and they were circumstantial. It was environmental, where if they weren't in that environment, they would not have succumbed to that or been exposed to it. So it makes a difference. And that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Make the right difference that they want.
Because at the end of the day, whether you realize it or not, we all will leave a legacy. Everything that you do will affect somebody else. And most people leave a legacy by circumstance instead of being intentional and being on purpose.
That's good.
This show is to help you leave a legacy on purpose.
For your purpose. Not for nobody else's purpose. Not for Uncle Sam. Not for the corporation called the United States of America. It's for your purpose.
Mm-hmm. So you got to figure out what you want that purpose to be. And you can come see somebody like myself or Fancy, and we'll just pretty much build a bridge from where you are now to where you want to be. And then it's just up to you to just walk that bridge. You know, we can only give you a recommendation and the rest is up to you. But your legacy is on the line with everything that you do every day.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true. Everything about today affects tomorrow. So financially, it's no different.
Yeah.
It's all subjective.
Oh, yeah. And with that being said, I think we're going to close it out. I think y'all got a lot today.
I enjoyed you. I wonder if I'm such an affluent and smart person that the screen keeps cutting off half my head because it's so big. So I'm so smart.
Anything you want to say to close it out?
That's it. I'm good. I'm done.
All right. Well, make sure you guys, if you got any value from this, if this was a conversation starter, something to think about, make sure that you share it with somebody that you know. Tune in next week for the next episode. We're going to still talk about legacy. We're going to talk about how to create a powerful legacy for your life. And with that being said, I'm Tino, the commissioner.
Fancy Daily.
All right. And we got Fancy Daily, and we are out.
Bye, guys.
Have a good day.